Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and Degenerates, and today we wrap up our fantasy lineup with Guillermo del Toro's Dark Fantasy, which is Pan's Labyrinth. I am Enzo, this is my forever co-host John, and yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this movie, and I'm glad I saw it again. Really am.
Same here. I love this movie. I really do. I know I'm giving away my score a little too early, but it is a fucking good movie. It's just that from the lineup of Harry Potter, Narnia, we just happened to bring in the most depressing and R-rated one into the lineup as well.
I mean, it says fantasy.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, not every fantasy has to be, sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes they have to be dark too,
True. We should do the Dark Crystal then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Oh my god, this was such a trip.
Right?
I really do want to watch this with my parents, because I know my dad will doubt it because it looks like it's a wispy child's movie. Oh, she believes in fairies, and then you just see the fascist regime. I'm just like, oh lordy.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I don't know how you can dismiss it as a child's fantasy when it's set in the middle of the dictatorship of Francisco Franco of Spain. Like of all the dictators of Europe, he's the most unknown one, or the one that not a lot of people spend time studying about. But by all accounts, he was a terrible person, and this regime was horrible. It lasted until the 70s, so that's not good.
yeah.
But yeah, this stars Ivana Baquero as Ophelia, and is again set in the middle of Franco, Spain, in the middle of the country. I think I'm not too familiar with Spain's landscapes. Her mom, her stepdad, and the entirety of his garrison, and they're just by themselves. And you're like, well, this is a fun setup. What is gonna happen now? You're like, what a big setup to a fantasy movie, man.
Yeah, so the story here is that the mom of what's her name?
Ophelia.
Ophelia. What a nice name. The mom of Ophelia marries a military captain,
Yeah.
sadly in the fascist regime. And yeah, so they're just like, hey, how about we live with you while you exterminate
The rebels.
the rebels in your area?
Right?
Why? And the reason why is because Captain Vidal wants his son to be there when he's born.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's tradition. I don't think it's the safest tradition, but okay.
Right in the middle of an insurgency, and then Ophelia
Ophelia.
encounters these creatures like fairies, and one night she encounters a fawn. It's true what they say that I don't know what's been happening with practical and CGI effects of the late 2010s and 2020s, but the effects here still stand the test of time, especially the fawn, especially the pale man later on. Because when the fawn starts moving, I'm like, my god, you are real. You're as real as the practical
Yeah,
T-Rex robot in Jurassic Park.
that's the thing. Because I love it that Guillermo del Toro, sure, he's not I'll set off a nuclear bomb kind of realistic like Christopher Nolan, but at the same time, you're just he shows off the artistry of makeup design, costume design, and even was this prop design for the sets.
Yeah.
I love that he does that. He almost has zero reliant on
Yeah.
CGI to show that kind of magic, because with him it feels very tangible. Even with CGI, he makes it tangible. It feels like we can touch it ourselves.
Yeah.
With Pacific Rim, it's very CGI heavy, but at the same time, it's just very realistic to a point where I feel like that could be a real robot.
Yeah.
So good on Guillermo. I love this movie for that.
Yeah. We find out that Ophelia is the princess, and she has to do these 3 tasks before the full moon in order to fulfill her role as said princess. And you're like, all right, I'm listening. At the same time, a lot of other stories are happening. Mercedes, her brother, is part of the rebellion, and she's offering supplies or giving supplies to the insurgency. Same with the doctor. They're all working in tandem while Captain Vidal is hunting down these rebels. I do love how intimidating Sergio Lopez is as Vidal. That man is quite scary, especially in the quiet moments where he's interrogating the one guy who's like a stutterer. He's like, if you can count to 3, I'll let you go. And he stutters. He's like, too bad. Backsends him with a hammer. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Oh my god. Or like the guy who was just like, oh, we're just rabbit hunters. We're not rebels.
Oh yeah. Oh
Hey.
fuck.
I was just like, why do you have to use the wide bottle, man?
Right.
Uh,
It turns out they were rabbit hunters too, and he's like, "Can you do your job better?" I'm like, "Can you not kill them before you inspect their bags, please?"
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, you kind of did the same thing, motherfucker. Okay, never mind. But yeah, okay. Going back to like the 3 tasks where like, by the way, as a child, even though if I am a kid who likes to get his hands dirty, likes to go into the mud, I could never do what Ophelia did, where like her first task was to go into this like hole of a tree where like she gets a key from a frog's stomach. I don't know how she figured out that, oh, feed the frog a couple of bugs and it'll throw its guts out.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. I would never do this as a child. Dark little spaces with like creepy crawlies growing on you. I'm like, mm-mm. You know what? I don't need to be king.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah,
I don't want a kingdom after all. Peace, fun.
Yeah, so while she did that, her second trial is just absolute nightmare fuel.
Yeah, is with the Pale Man, Doug Jones as the Pale Man. Like, this guy is like, him and Andy Serkis don't get enough credit with their body work. Like, incredible.
I agree. Because I am watching his recent show.
Yeah.
And it is What We Do in the Shadows. And the dude's so good as Baron Afanas. Yeah, he's a great actor. And yeah, he doesn't get the spotlight that he deserves. But anyway.
Yeah, it seems like Ophelia with the Pale Man, like, challenge is doing well. She gets the key, but she doesn't follow one simple instruction.
It wasn't a key, it was a knife?
Yeah, a knife. And then she doesn't follow the one thing where it's like, don't eat anything. Even the fairies are like, please, don't do it, please, Ophelia.
And she was like, leave me alone. You know, I'm gonna just eat this thing. And the fairy's like trying its best.
Yeah.
And then the fairy gets eaten because of her actions. I was like,
yeah,
that thing died because of you, Ophelia.
Right.
I just that's all I wanted to say. I got genuinely pissed off at Ophelia. I was like, especially how graphic
just
the fairy died too.
Like,
it was just like Attack on Titan-esque.
Right. I forget
oh my god.
How Nightmare Fuel fucking this is. Like, his eyeballs work with his hands. I'm like, alright, I forgot about this. Jesus Christ, Ophelia. Why must you do something so stupid at the end of this trial? She escapes, but it is like, if that thing was chasing me, I think I would just shrivel up in fear, be like, I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do, man.
I feel like it was slow enough, but the thing is, she was a kid.
Yeah.
But like us as 20-year-olds, I think we could like body this fucker. But yeah, like you get him from the legs, I'll take care of the head. But as a kid, you're just like and it's known to eat children.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, mm.
The only thing that saves her is her chalk zone chalk.
Yeah. She just like opens the door with a chalk, almost gets her like feet caught. And I was just like, oh lordy. Hated that. But the thing is, I remember watching this for the first time. I was very terrified of that scene. I was like, yeah, that's scary. Watching it now, I was like, you know, it's really good. It's very scary, and I could see how this could seep into any kid's nightmares. But the thing that scared me the most as an adult now is Vada.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's funny that growing up with this movie, you're terrified of like the Pale Man and the other creatures, like the big frog. But like growing up, you realize like, I think I'd rather take my chances with the Pale Man and the frog than be caught in a fascist regime where like everybody is controlling me. At least with the Pale Man and the frog, I can like run or maybe fight back with this. If I take out one guy, like another will just take his place. I'm like, what? Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And just like Sergio Lopez,
Sergey.
Sergey
Yeah.
Lopez did such an amazing job being this absolute son of a bitch.
Yeah,
You know, like when they were interrogating that one guy,
yeah,
and then the doctor is just like, you know what, I'm gonna just end your life, and the doctor disobeys Vidal.
yeah,
I was like, why did you not obey me? And he was like, sometimes it's not worth doing. And I'm like, and then he walks away and nonchalantly just like shoots the doctor at the back,
yeah.
and the doctor like muscles it through until he just couldn't. And I'm just like, that was such a good scene, and I hate you.
Right.
Great actor.
Yeah.
Hate the character. Great actor.
All the while,
Uh,
Ophelia's helping her mom get better from her pregnancy illness because she's not doing well with this pregnancy. Because the doctor already said, like, don't make her travel this late into her pregnancy. Of course, Vidal doesn't listen, and like he even like discovers the one, I forgot what he called it, like the thing Ophelia hides under her bed, and the Catwoman's like, what the fuck is this
yeah,
thing?
that root thing from
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, but I where did she get that thing? I don't recall.
From the fawn. And he's like, here for your mom. She's like, okay.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the mom throws it into the fire, and she's like, ah.
And it immediately starts bleeding. I'm like, well, that's not good. And the mom eventually, like, she gives birth, but she dies in the process. And you're like, fuck, it's just Ophelia and her brother. What the fuck are we going to do now?
Fucking terrifying, because like Vidal is just like he's all bloodied up because he got cut up by
Mercedes.
what's her name? Mercedes.
Yeah.
By the way, another great supporting actress.
Yeah.
Well, she like tries her best to like keep Ophelia and herself safe by giving information to the rebels and making sure Ophelia doesn't get killed by her stepfather.
Yeah.
She cuts up Vidal, which makes him even more terrifying because he's all bloody and he has a Joker-esque gash
Yeah.
on his face. I was like, God damn, that he sews up and you see him do it too, and I'm just like, I'm good.
Why must it be so graphic, Del Toro? I love it, but at the same time, Jesus, why would it stitches? And then
Yeah, which makes him even more terrifying in my opinion.
yeah. And then she steals her brother from Catherine because she has to complete her trial, which involves her sacrificing her brother. And then she's like, I won't do it. And the font's like, okay, bye. You're
Alright,
like,
fuck, I gave you another chance, so ciao.
yeah.
Like, yeah, like the dude just leaves her be. And I love this entire scene. It's horrible how it ended, but like, I love how, like, it was directed. It's
Yeah.
just that I feel it's like, no, I can't sacrifice my brother to you.
Yeah.
But I also can't give my brother to my stepfather. So she chose neither.
Yeah.
So the dad takes a kid, and then he just, again, nonchalantly just shoots Ophelia.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I haven't seen this movie in like 10 years. I forgot this is how it ended.
Same here. Like,
And I was,
at the beginning, I'm like, does Ophelia die at the end? I forget. Then you see the beginning,
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. I think I'm starting to remember. I don't like this.
yeah. So like, yeah. So like, she dies at the end.
Yeah.
But with her like last few breaths, she sees herself in like a golden castle with her original father and her mother,
Yeah.
and a throne waiting for her.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's nice. But there was a scene where Vidal like is like with her, and she's talking to the fawn,
Yeah.
and he doesn't see it. I was like, please don't tell me this is all in her head. You know, it's not like just an escapism kind of deal. She actually does have a happy ending, right?
I guess it's up to interpretation. What do you want to be like? Want to be hopeful? Be like, yeah, of course, Ophelia is now your highness and not dead in some cold ground. in some marble stone temple. I like to
Yeah.
believe she had fulfilled her fantasy, her destiny, and is now enjoying the spoils of it instead of the grim reality of like, hey man, this is the fascist regime. They'll do anything to get what they want.
Yeah, you either are loyal or you're not. You
Yeah.
know,
Vidal
there's
gets
no in
his
between.
Vidal gets his comeuppance too with the rebels.
Ah,
Yeah.
such a good scene too, where he's just like, "Oh, please tell my son that his father," and Carmen just cuts him off.
Yeah.
Carmen, sorry, Mercedes cuts him off, and he was like, "They won't remember,"
Yeah.
and shoots. And I was like, "That goes so hard."
Right. So it's a very bittersweet ending, and it's either an overwhelmingly happy ending or an overwhelmingly sad ending, depending where you want to go. But nonetheless, this is a pretty good movie, and a movie that's almost 20 years old. It still again holds the test of time. You wonder where the fuck all the good effects and CGI or practical went in the 2000s and early 2010s, and you're like, are we ever gonna reach this stage of creativity? Hopefully soon, but like not from major. I don't know about major studios, but like small studios like the one that did Flow, or like A24 or the studio behind Anora. Hopefully they still push forward what we can do with technology. Denis Villeneuve has a name to him, so he can do big CGI and practical effects too. So hopefully the art of effects like these don't die out because of oversaturation. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what would you rate Pan's Labyrinth?
Man, I'm trying to see a fault in this movie. Because all I have to say is like, everybody did such a good job here. Like the actress for Ophelia, sure she's a kid, but like, you believed her the entire way that she felt like a real person, not somebody who's acting.
Yeah.
And we had an amazing villain. Like I really thought when I first watched this, I really thought it was just magical creatures and all that, and then we have some magical bad guy. No, this movie is very grounded. This movie is very. It has a lot to say.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. It has a lot of political views that it likes to let out there.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a very important movie to watch now since the current events today.
Yeah. Who could have
Yeah.
foreseen what would happen in the 2020s back in 06?
Anyway. Yeah, but besides the amazing writing, the amazing like how it was directed,
Yeah.
you gotta give it up to just like the props, the design of like the sets and like the costumes, because they made this world real, and I love it.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, fuck, I feel guilty for giving it a 9, but a 9's a good score. But I feel guilty giving it a 9.
I'll you know what, I'll go one step above because I feel like they blended the genres of fantasy and war
And
pretty well.
yeah,
So
yeah,
10 out of 10 for me. The cast is amazing. Like the only slight caveat is that it's in Spanish, but that's fine. You can always look up for the sub version anyway. And like Guillermo del Toro shows how well he knows how to handle both fantasy and war. Like you pointed out, like the scariest thing is not the pale man or the frogs or whatever the fairies are. It's the fact that they're stuck once they leave fantasy, they're stuck in this fascist world until the 70s, and you're like, but it's still the 1930s. Oh fuck, we have a long way to go.
yeah.
And like, you wonder like, would Ophelia be better off? Well, the answer's clear by the end. If she would be better off just being in this fantasy world rather than being in this cold, harsh world that is fascist Spain. And like, you're right. Like, saying this now in the 2020s when everything has unfolded with all the news articles coming out, you're like, wow, we are. I know history repeats itself, but does it have to repart this part of itself? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
But yeah.
So, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 as well. This is a very important film.
Yeah, there we go. And like, in terms of like effects, it still lives up to the hype. It's definitely not like a lot of movies today where like it's big budgeted and the effects look like shit. Here it's like, I forget what budget it was, but the effects still hold up today. I'm sure they kept it somewhere, some museum. I will be surprised if they didn't. But the costumes, the makeup, and everything else that led to Guillermo del Toro making this amazing fantasy movie still works today. And I'm glad I rewatched it because I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, and I rewatched it. I'm like, wow, I came out with like different lessons in life. Like I'll continue to rewatch this. I'll even show it to my kids if they're old enough, of course. I know he's making the Frankenstein movie with Andrew Garfield and Oscar Isaac. I think Andrew Garfield's the monster and Oscar Isaac is Victor Frankenstein. Like I forgot who else is in it, but like I can't wait for that. It's coming out on Netflix in Halloween, so we'll definitely do that when it comes out there. But yeah, that's been our video for Pan's Labyrinth. What's your favorite Guillermo del Toro movie? Whatever it is, comment down below. Mine will always be Pacific Rim because I like big robots hitting monsters.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your favorite one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I do love Pacific Rim, but I will say the Hellboy movies were the ones that really got me into it.
yeah. Not gonna lie though, after rewatching Pan's Labyrinth, it might be the first, and Pacific Rim might be second now. Because I'm like, damn, that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, that's been our fantasy week. Whatever other lineups we'll do, we'll let you guys know, or whatever the audience idea is, they can comment down below. But for now, if you like what you see here, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. Individually, I'm Jodas Bosses on TikTok and Ange Wolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
Or you can find me at JohnJoam_ on Instagram. It is Mardica.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.